You're very welcome back. The first question I want to ask is in relation to the emerging preferred option, that the public consultation that was run for the N3 M50. It closed on the 18th of May. And it involved bus priority and enhanced active travel. And I suppose I just want to ask you what communication was provided to the public on that non-statutory consultation, because I found a lot of people along the N3 corridor didn't actually know about it.
That's largely an NTA project, or sorry, Geraldine. Yeah.
Sorry, no, it is. It's been funded by DII, but in the case of these projects, like, we rely on the local authority to do the engagement with the public. I understand there is a lot of concerns over, I think it's a footbridge on that scheme, and that will be looked at in terms of the final solution. I can't say what that will be. But at the moment, I understand that the consultation consisted of engagement with the elected representatives in the county council, and that there was public engagement. I can't recall the actual ins and outs, so I can't give you. But I'm happy to come back on it. But it is delivered, and in the case of all of these projects, they are delivered through the local authority, and we rely on that interface to do the engagement with the public.
Yeah, I myself found I was quite taken aback by the lack of awareness of the consultation in this instance. But it wasn't helped, I think, by the material, because the material was very top level, and we were being asked for opinions on changes to the road structure on our junctions around Blanchardstown, Little Pace, Mulhuddart. And it was very difficult to explain to people what those changes actually were, because we were following lines on a map rather than having clarity. And especially for a project that has been talked about for many years, and there seems to have been a policy change in relation to it a couple of years ago, where there was an expectation that for many people there was an expectation that there would also be changes to the bridge at Little Pace, and perhaps that it would become a two-way bridge, because at the moment it's only one way, and you have to go via Clonee to cross the N3. So there was an expectation that there would be more information, I think, on how we've arrived at the proposal that was presented to the public.
Yeah, I accept there has been confusion out there, and confusion in the context. There was a bigger scheme originally, which looked at a lot of interventions along the road, whereas this is an element of that project, and it's purely looking at bus corridors and active travel. So it's a subset of the larger scheme, and I think that has caused confusion.
So there is a bigger scheme.
There is a bigger scheme, but we don't have the money to progress the bigger scheme. And also there was an interface with Bus Connects as you approach the M50. So because of that interface, at the moment the scheme proposed is only looking at bus corridors and active travel. But ultimately there is a bigger scheme with more involved in it that requires other. So except there has been confusion, and there's a need to maybe clarify that position. We have gone back to Fingal County Council, but I don't know the ins and outs of what's proposed now, but I do accept there has been confusion out there.
Yeah, because there have been changes.
I think the original was the big scheme, whereas this is simply an element of that, and it has changed. So, yeah,
I think it's important that bigger picture is communicated to the public, so they know what they're actually giving their views on. But there are two active travel bridges in the proposals. And like, this isn't a cheap scheme because I asked TII for the approximate cost, and overall we're looking at approximately, I think, 70 million for the overall scheme, and then 5.5 million for the bridge at Bramblefield, and 3.3 for the active bridge at Little Pace. And I'm supportive of the enhanced active travel provisions in general, and the active travel bridge at Little Pace, but at Bramblefield there are severe concerns coming from the community about the positioning of the bridge in what is a quiet residential area, and I'm wondering where it came from, on what basis, what was the rationale for that bridge. I spotted it on the Greater Dublin Area Cycle Network Plan, but was there consultation on that previously?
Unfortunately, I don't know the ins and outs. I'd have to come back to you on that. My understanding is it was related to the provision of a bus stop. However, I can look into it further and come back to you on it. I do accept that there is a need to look at that, and there are alternatives that can be looked at, so that's going to happen as well. So I suppose that's all I can say at the moment, but I do accept that the consultation should have been clearer, and also that there is a need to revisit that bridge position as well, but I can't kind of say any more than that.
Just in my last remaining time, it has fed into another local issue, and the potential loss of the 70 bus route, which at the moment services what we call the Little Pace loop, and that service under Bus Connects is due to become a peak-only route, which would give direct access to town. So the positioning of this bridge feels like a confirmation that route would be deprioritised in favour of a link onto the N3, and actually what the community want is to retain the 70 route along the Little Pace loop as a full day service. So I think it's really important that TII and Fingal County Council do engage with the community and communicate clearly about what their intentions are.
Thank you. Deputy Crowe.